Hello, family. My name is Dag. Oh my God, did I just mispronounce my name? Can you imagine? Please, my name is Dago, and you're welcome to my channel. Please, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, do well to click the subscribe button, smash it, destroy it, and do whatever you like with it. But don't leave this page without clicking that subscribe button. Comment and also share. Today on my channel, I will be sharing with you a very interesting topic, and it's some of the major difficulties English speakers experience when learning Spanish. Yes, this is my own personal experience. Experiences we know differ from one person to the other. So this is my own personal experience, and I want to share that with you. So don't touch this dial. Stay tuned. Oh, you're welcome back. So today I'll be going straight to the topic. No plenty talk. I would like to share with you number one reason why English speakers like myself is experiencing some difficulties learning Spanish. Number one reason is because of the alphabets. Spanish alphabet and English alphabet differ. Not all of them differ, but some of them do differ. I'll pick out some of these alphabets I'm talking about. The L in Spanish, the double L, whenever you see a word that has double L, like llama, like when they ask you, ¿Cómo se llama? Which means, what is your name? So that llama now is pronounced as Y, as the English word Y, instead of la. So this, of course, when you see it being written down, Llama is Llama. You will just say, you will think it's llama as against Yama. And by the way, you're already pronouncing it wrongly. So when you know that these words are spelled differently from the way they are pronounced, you get to be able to know how to pronounce it appropriately. Another one I would like to tell you about is the Spanish word H. This word, and the English word H in Spanish, is usually silent in all cases. So when you see a word like, by the way, even if they are spelled like an English word, it may not be the same pronunciation. Like in English, we have hospital and hotel. In Spanish, we have hotel and hospital. If you can listen properly, you find out that I didn't pronounce the H. I just pronounced the O after the H. Hotel, hospital. And these are spelled the same way the English hotel and hospital are being spelled. So when you see it, you may just pronounce it as the same way. Meanwhile, you do not know that the H is always silent in Spanish. You can take a pen and paper and jot out these examples that I'm listing if you are learning Spanish or if you want to learn Spanish. Another word I would like to mention is the alphabet J. This alphabet in English language is J. In Spanish, it's been called Ota. And this word, something like Jesus, as we pronounce, is Jesus in English, but in Spanish is Yesu Spanish. So when you see the alphabet J, just know that it's the Ota. That's the way it is being, that's the sound. Don't call it like the English word. Another thing is V. When you see the V, spelled V, in English is usually V. Like we have van, see f. In Spanish, this word is B. So when we see something like vamos, it's spelled vamos, but in pronunciation it is vamos. Venir, you spelled venir, but in pronunciation it is venir. it is be, ube. That is the way it sounds, ube. Moving on to the second thing I would like to draw your attention to as English speakers. There are a lot of words that Spanish language has that has actually been derived from English. They are even spelled the way the English speakers spell their words. We have things like television. We have things like some words have been tweaked in such a way that it now looks like a Spanish word. But when you see these words, you know what it actually means. Like university, it's called universidad. Banana is actually banana. We have the hotel I was saying, which is hotel, and hospital I was mentioning earlier, which is hospital. These words are actually, they look like English words, and you can actually know what they mean just by the mere pronunciation. But some of them have been tweaked. Their prefix or their suffix have been tweaked. If you're an English student, you will know what I mean. We have things like family, which is called familia. We have things like restaurante in Spanish, which is restaurant in English. We have minutes. We have minutes. We have other words like idea, buen idea. So moving on to the next thing, if I'm moving on to the third reason. And this third reason is none other than the Spanish language can be very complex when it comes to the words that are being used. Spanish words usually are into two, masculine and feminine, masculino and femenino. And because of this, before you pronounce a noun, you have to be able to know if that word is a masculine word or is a feminine word. If it's a masculine word, the prefix before the word will be L, E-L. If it's feminine, it will go with la. Remember, there are some generic words that do not, that this rule does not apply. So you also will need to understand the words that are exceptions to this rule. We have words that are masculine in nature, like agua. Agua is actually masculine, but it's supposed to be feminine because it ends in an A, but it's masculine. But if it's aguas, if there is an S, if the plural, it will take the last prefix before the word. This may be actually confusing. It has confused me a lot of times, and I know it has confused a lot of people. We have some of these examples as when you say familia. Familia is actually it's actually a feminine word, so it takes the la. Some other words that are exceptions to the rule, like limon. Limon takes the L prefix before it. Radio, it ends with an O, but it still takes the la prefix before it. So you need to study to understand the exceptions. You need to be able to know which words are exceptions to the rule so that when speaking, you don't make mistake. Also, I'll be talking on the fourth reason, which is the reflective verbs. These reflective verbs, like the yo, to, yo is I in English, to is you, él is he, ella is she, ellos is they, nosotros is we. And these are the pronouns in English and Spanish. But in English, when you're speaking in English and you use a pronoun, you cannot leave out the pronoun. When you're speaking, you always use it. But in Spanish, is actually optional. It's not necessary for you to use the pronoun, because in Spanish, like if you say yo escribo las noticias, it just means that I write, the news. But in English, you always say I write the news. In Spanish, you don't have to use the yo if there is no emphasis, Because when you use that verb, escribo, it just tells you that I'm talking about myself. Unlike English word that you say, you cannot just come out and say, write the news. That's why we have verbs here that reflect back to who the speaker is. So in Spanish, you see words like yo escribo, but you don't use the yo except you want to emphasize on who the speaker is. An example of this is ¿Quién quiere venir? Then you say yo, I. Who is coming? Who wants to come? You say I. ¿Quién dijo eso? You say él, he. These examples are just meant to show you that these ones, the pronouns here are being used just to emphasize on the words. The fifth example, guys, is that speaking and studying are two different skills, and you must understand that they are two different skills. No matter how much you study the Spanish language, if you don't speak, you will not be able to actually learn this language. It's just like driving a car. When you learn how to drive, you go to driving school, you pay, they teach you how to drive, and you come back home and you don't have a car to practice with. After a few years, this skill may actually leave you, or you may not be as good as you used to be. When you want to learn how to drive, or when you get your car and you want to drive, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, you find out that you're still fidgeting on the steering because that confidence that you had before has actually left you. That's the same thing with learning any language. When you start learning, you're confident, you want to speak, but if you don't actually see who you're going to be speaking with, it's just like learning a different language in a country learning Spanish in a country where it's dominated by English speakers. How do you speak? Who do you converse with? And if you don't converse with anybody, the language dies, a natural death at that. So we need to understand that speaking is actually a different skill, and we must practice every day to get better at this skill. It's not just about reading, oh, I know this word, I know what it means. Yes, you may know what it means, but if you don't continuously practice, this skill may actually, not be there. And when it leaves you, you have to start all over again to practice and to get good. I know that also sometimes we go through, I don't know what I would call it, language frights. In the sense that you're in a country that speaks Spanish and you're an English speaker, and when you want to speak the language, you're going to be speaking to the natives. And you just feel that if I speak, maybe I don't want to speak something that is grammatically wrong. I want to speak something that is grammatically correct. I, for one, I learned in university, I studied English language, and I kind of know how to express myself when it comes to speaking the language English. So here, I kind of find it quite difficult sometimes to speak to those people who are natives, because I'll be like, I don't know if I got the structure right. I don't know if the syntax is okay. That's the meaning of the word. I don't know if this, I don't know if that. And it kind of restricts me from speaking. But I've learned since I started schooling that it's better to practice with. And the thing is that nobody will judge you when they see that you're not Spanish. Nobody will judge you for that. Speak it anyhow you know how to. Definitely you're going to make mistakes because you're learning, and it's in these mistakes that you get better and you build up your vocabulary, you build up your sentence structure, you build up a lot of things. So you cannot be perfect without mistakes. It's not possible. It's not possible to be perfect without mistakes. So make those mistakes. Yes, make them. Sometimes, once you even speak, even if with the mistake, they will still tell you, if there's a question you're asking, they will still let you know where, they'll still answer you. So don't, be put off because you want to learn the language and you feel you're speaking to the natives. No, that should not be something that will discourage you. Speak it, and speak it more often. And the more you speak it, the more you learn the language. Another thing that also gets people confused is some words in Spanish. I told you there are a lot of words in Spanish that actually mean the same thing with these English words. But there are also some words that actually mean a different thing from Spanish words. Some of these words are éxito. Éxito in English might mean, when you see it, you might mean it means exit as in leave or the exit to a place. But in Spanish, it means success. Who would have thought, huh? In Spanish, it means success. When you say constipation, constipation, you may think it's somebody that's suffering from constipation. Nah, it means a cold. Molesta. Molesta is to annoy or disturb, but you might just think it's to molest. We have things like ropa. Ropa, you may think is a rope, but ropa is clothes. We have things like contestar. That is to answer, but you might think that it means contestants. We have preservation. Preservation actually means a condom. So don't make the mistake of going to say, oh, you need a particular thing and you think it's a Spanish word, but it's actually not the word you think it means that it means. So let us always study our Spanish. All in all, learning a new language is a beautiful thing. I will not discourage anybody from learning. I love learning Spanish. I enjoy learning Spanish. I love the language. In fact, back in my country, I used to think I knew Spanish because I knew this song. They used to Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not us to see. Que sera, sera. So I used to love Spanish songs and Feliz Navidad. I love that one too, and that was very common. So I felt, oh, I love the Spanish language. When I come here, I'll be speaking it anyhow. But before I came here, I actually was learning Spanish using Duolingo. I don't know if you know about that app. If you don't, I'll put the description where you can actually download this app from your Play Store, and it really helps you. In fact, when I was home, I was using this app, and I felt Spanish. How hard can it be? How hard can it be? And when I came, in fact, when I initially came and they were speaking Spanish to me, I was like, I could not even, it was as if I didn't learn any Spanish because these people use their intonation to speak the language as natives. So the word you even know, the ones you even know, when you hear it, you might not know it again. Like I was like, oh God, I have to start afresh, refresh. And sometimes you just have to listen properly. Sometimes it's actually words that you know. It's so funny that somebody actually tells you, "Como se llama?" And you're like silent. You're thinking, what's como se llama? It's after 5 minutes, the person has already walked through that you now remember, I know this word. I saw it somewhere. And I could have answered. Se llama Mara, se apellido Udagu. And I was like, oh my God, you've missed out on, practicing. It's crazy, family. It's really crazy. That is how learning a language is. I don't know if there's any of you that have tried learning even your indigenous language or any language at all. Please put in the comment section some of the difficulties you have experienced learning this language. Please, I hope I'm not the only one going through what I'm going through. So I will advise you, if you are learning the language, just cool down. Patient does it. Don't be afraid to speak the language wherever you are. Always speak, make mistakes, learn from the mistake, keep speaking, keep learning. You might never be as good as the native speakers because, of course, it's not your language, but at some point you get better. So, family, another advice I would like to give if you're learning the language is, if you have the will, if you love what you are doing, if you love the language you are learning, there is always a way. Once you love what you're doing, you want to learn, you want to speak, you challenge yourself every day to be better. So love the language first. Then the learning process will be coming to you. And once you are learning it and practicing it, you'll be getting better. Don't have the mentality that, oh, this language is hard, I can never get better at this. That mentality is a no-no for somebody who wants to learn the new language. Once you just say, oh, it's difficult, oh, I don't think I will ever be able to speak it, then you will never be able to speak it. But once you say, I think I can, how hard can it be? Yeah, be like that. Be like that. Be like, how hard can it be? It cannot be that hard. If there are people speaking it and they are not native speakers and they are in that place, you too can. Of course, you too can. Also, I would advise you, don't be afraid of making mistakes. No, don't be. Because once you make mistakes, you will learn from those mistakes. So continue speaking, continue learning, continue being fabulous. If you've gotten to this point of my video and you're still not subscribed, I don't know what you were waiting for. Please do well to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for joining me today on this journey. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.